Hi, Simon, and welcome to Cryptophobia. So happy to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me. It was great to get in touch, and I'm looking forward to our discussion today.
Yes, me too. We have a lot of topics to cover, but maybe first you could talk a little bit about yourself. How did you get into blockchain?
No problem. My name is Simon. I'm originally from Poland, but now I live in Lisbon, Portugal for a year. I spent the previous 5 years in Berlin, Germany, where I was working in blockchain companies, AI companies, AI startups, developing marketing and sales departments, many times from scratch, doing rebrandings. That's basically my main profession is marketing. But I was always a founder. Back in Poland, I founded online magazine. Then I founded a streetwear store based on this. So I was very much into fashion, streetwear, luxury items as well. And our project, it was a range of products that were on a higher scale of the range because it was coming mostly from independent designers and brands. And that was always my focus to help and lift independent designers. So how I get into blockchain, after moving to Germany, I was working in an AI finance startup, and I got recommended by one of these people there to the blockchain development agency. So that's how I started. I had some research that I was doing myself on fashion use cases for blockchain. I wanted to see how a blockchain can improve provenance for fashion items. I was already thinking about membership tokens. Yeah, it was, I think, 6 years ago, around 6 years ago. So I did my own research on this. And then when I had a conversation with the person who were recruiting me for the agency, I already had something to show, right? It was not like I only marketing and they will teach me everything, but that's what they told as well. But I had something to show already that I have keen interest in blockchain and in new technologies. I was working in AI, so there were definitely some connections there. Yeah, and this guy Marcel, I love him. He was the boss of this, one of the co-founders and one of the bosses of this agency. He was in the marketing department. He hired me, and we really did some great projects, some great work together. Actually, like there was a plan that I will meet him today later on, but his event in Lisbon was cancelled and he's not flying, unfortunately.
Oh, that's too bad. Another time. That's amazing. Fascinating story. I asked this to all of my guests, and every guest has a completely different story of how they got into it. So we're all also self-educated to a certain degree because you can't go to one place and learn step by step. You kind of have to immerse yourself into whatever is going on in the space and learn by yourself. So did you struggle coming into this project? Did you learn on your own mostly, or did you feel like you could get help? What tools did you use to basically immerse yourself in this space?
Yes, I think being on top of the news, I think it's pretty important, and LinkedIn is definitely helping on this as well. What other leaders are posting, what they are writing, I think it's also a very important part of the game to really know what's happening. Obviously, following the news like Telegraph and others, it's also useful to know what's up there in terms of technology. And then I believe going to events and speaking at events. Last year, I had many speaking engagements, some conferences online, not online, in real life as well, some blockchain week. I think this is one of the best ways to get immersed into this. Obviously, it depends a little bit on the conferences, but overall, it's a good experience. And meeting people who are working in the industry, discussing with them 3 hours, 4 hours, sometimes less, sometimes more, gives you a good understanding. And I think in this agency, we were in the office in Berlin all day long, working on projects, going to offices of our clients. So we also had some work in their offices in other blockchain companies. So it was pretty engaging to be a part of this culture and be a part of something big. Because right now this company, they changed their name because they changed their focus more into development of Web3 gaming. And right now they actually have a very, very big project. They have a wallet for Web3 games with a very big community, and it's growing really well. So I'm super happy also that I was a part of this story at the beginning.
Amazing. Yeah, very inspiring stories. So mainly your experience, as I understand it, is within AI, the metaverse, and fashion. So if we dig a bit deeper there, what is the connection there? What can you tell a beginner now listening in and has never heard anything about this? Is this a thing?
Yes, of course. It's obviously these topics are what excite me the most. The connections between the intersection of the technology, art, marketing, right? Like how these things can be combined together. And obviously AI, one of the tools right now that can make it better, make it easier to connect, right? Because some of these
Yes.
things could be automated with AI, some of these things could be enhanced, augmented with AI. Actually, my new project is about connecting all these dots together. So also exciting, definitely right now, because I'm actually developing a project based on all that I learned in this time. Yeah, for the beginner, what is the connection between metaverse, for example, and blockchain technology? You can definitely have a metaverse without blockchain, right? Like there are people saying this that
Yes.
obviously, right? I mean, but first, what is the metaverse itself? For me, metaverse is like an interconnected network of virtual worlds
Mm-hmm.
um, that will be at some point connected to the real world.
Mm-hmm.
It can be done through these technologies that we have, vision technologies like AR, augmented reality, VR, virtual reality,
Mm-hmm.
XR, extended reality. So through use of these technologies, we can actually connect this digital world to the real world and enhance our real world experience. That's the ideal that I have, not the one with being in a virtual headset all day long, yeah, like 8 hours per day. It's not sustainable. It's
Mm.
actually painful.
Mm.
I don't know what is your experience. I have a
Yeah,
headset
same.
here.
Yeah.
Basically, like next to me, I have a Quest 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm using it sometimes, but to be honest, after 2 hours or three
Yeah, it
hours,
gets heavy. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, it gets heavy, but also pain in the eyes, I would
Totally,
say.
totally. I've had
Yeah.
better experience with AR. So I've been on
Mhm.
spatial. I actually DJ'd in the metaverse recently, and I didn't know what to expect. What is the metaverse, right? But then I wanted to immerse myself in it. I got invited by choice to DJ in the digital pride there. So it was on spatial. Maybe you've used that platform.
Yeah. We are mostly using spatial for our things. So
It's very user friendly and it felt like a game. So I have nephews like 10 and 5, and they're both addicted to Roblox, right? So whenever I go visit them, they're like, you have to come play with us Roblox, otherwise you're not cool. And I really want to be the cool aunt. So
yes.
downloaded this Roblox on my phone and it changed everything. And now I'm working in the metaverse and I'm like, this is Roblox.
It's pretty much it, right? Like it depends.
Yeah.
You can have different graphic styles and different things, but overall, it is like this, right? On spatial, you still need, yeah, to create. It's a little bit different, right? You still need
Mm.
things to create, like some experience from digital design, 3D design to be able to create stuff more. But it is possible, it is achievable.
Mm.
I built some spaces in spatial as well and I love it. For me, the metaverse is exactly this kind of way that people can connect to each other in the new
Mhm.
way, right?
Mhm.
It's not that it was not possible before because you can have a Zoom call, right? But and on Zoom call, you can see, like we talked right now, you can see the expression, right? You can see the face. But in a way, through metaverse, you can have more enhancing experience because you can see more, right? You can see 3D objects together with other people in the same time. And for
Mm.
me, this art part is like the most important. Yeah, we work on digital fashion, we work on architecture. So for me, this 3D stuff is the most important. And obviously, it's better to see it in 3D than on a Zoom call, right? Like we are all watching a presentation, and that's not the same. And
No,
having a
no.
headset on, even going for the event for 1 hour, it's still possible. It's not that tiring. So
Mm.
yeah, it's going pretty good. But
Awesome.
yeah, so that was the metaverse. But I wanted to say this connection between the blockchain and metaverse. So it's not that games, when you can have items and create stuff, didn't exist before, right? You had Second Life, you had some other games that was pretty similar.
Mm.
But with Web3 games and with the Web3 authentication and verification and ownership, you are getting sort of like a new level of understanding of digital world because
Mm.
the things you own, you actually own. You are the
Mm.
owner of these things, right? Whatever
Mm.
the token represent, you are the owner of this item, you are the owner of this song, you are the owner of this piece of art. In terms of games, it could be avatars, it could be digital fashion, it could be spaces. Yeah, like you can buy an OpenSea space for spatial, right? You can buy
Mm.
it and then you can have it
Mm.
basically as your gallery or your place.
Mm.
And I
Mm.
think this level of ownership gives a nice layer of experience because you can trade this stuff then with others. I wouldn't say that I like the speculation part of it, but that's part of the capitalism and it's part of the the market game, right? There will be people who buy it to sell it for a bigger price, right? They will be buying it because they want to have it, right?
Right.
There are people who just want to enjoy it, right? And they will not buy it, but they are using the spaces of others. So I think this part is pretty, like, for me, it's ground changing because it's opening the creator economy, right? It's opening also the opportunity for people to change their lives. And in our DAO, we definitely saw that with many artists that were trying to build their digital careers. And obviously, by selling NFTs or by working on NFT projects, by taking part in digital events, they actually have now much more sustainable careers. So that's what I love about it. And as I mentioned before, I love supporting independent artists.
Yes.
Second part is obviously that big companies can use this as well. And yeah, like Starbucks that have a discount program right now, using the NFTs. It could be useful for users as well, right? So this part of authentication and ownership, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the metaverse is so fascinating because I was DJing for Digital Pride in Miami, and there was like a dance floor, and there you could see all the avatars dancing. And I did get a feeling that I was there, even though I wasn't, and I was much more impressed. Like, I went in a bit doubtful, I'm a skeptic in nature. I'm skeptic of everything. But I try anyways. And I tried it. And actually, I did feel the vibe. Like when I was transitioning into new songs, people were clapping. I could see people energy also. So I was happily surprised. But of course, we still have a long way to go, right? To introduce people into this, to make it accessible for everyone. So how do you see it becoming more accessible in the future? Now people listening in who want to try the metaverse or want to see how it looks like, what would you recommend? And how do you see it evolving into our daily life for an average user?
First of all, you mentioned it before, but yeah, congratulations on this gig in the metaverse. Last year we did 3 or 4 after parties for some bigger events, for some digital fashion weeks, and for our events. I also have this experience that actually running a party in a metaverse could be as enjoyable as running an event in the real world. I love events. I'm an event person. Yeah, like my marketing jobs, I was always in charge of creating events, conferences. And this first project in Poland, I actually was developing trade shows, for like 2,000 people and 3,000 people coming to the trade show to see independent designers work, right? Nice. So I love events, and all of this could be easily realized now in the metaverse, right? It could easily be recreated. So we have a long way to go because technologically it's still not at the level that everybody is satisfied with it, and that will still be a problem. But the infrastructure is being built. There are many players. I like, for example, Volta XR. For you, it could be an interesting tool to check. It's basically software to generate video shows also in real time. So you as a DJ can have a camera. With iPhone, you can have a leader camera. So it's also getting your 3D model, right? Yeah. And then this is going into the software. In the software, you can create before a scene, like a 3D scene, like a 3D visualizations, but really engaging and really, really, really cool. Like, it's working very, very good, a very extensive tool set. And you can then animate yourself, right? You can vanish, you can pixelate, right? You can do a lot of things. So for people who are watching it, who are a part of the show, they are getting a great experience. Yeah, they're getting something really engaging in 3D, not only like a static image, but actually a very engaging, the things are flowing around you, right?
Amazing. Yeah,
it's pretty
really
good.
Next level.
So exactly. So that's what I say. It's sort of like next level that you can do this. And I think one of their next steps is to connect this to metaverse games. Some metaverse, there will be like a need of a lot of integration, but there will be opportunities to have these effects inside the metaverse. So then people who are with headsets, they will actually feel like a real world party. But you can't have this kind of effect in a real world party. Yeah, you can't make a DJ vanish, right, and teleport itself or something, right? No. Like, it's impossible because it's real world. But
I wish though, that would have been really cool.
That would be really cool, obviously, right? I'm seeing some kind of real world shows. Some friends, DJs are sending me sometimes. You can have a great great visualizations, behind you, right? You can
Yes,
have some
yes.
screens. We already 12 years ago on some of the parties, we already used 3D mapping, right? So we are building from the cardboard some elements, right? Like crazy elements, and then 3D mapping amazing things to it. So it felt like 3D, right? Like the cave or something. So you can get pretty cool immersive experience in a real world, but obviously having this in digital world, it's opening in new ways how you can interact with it. And the next step of all of this, because you also mentioned AR, the next step of all of this are AR glasses. And that's basically what I'm banking on the most. Is sort of like not a secret. Like if we talk to other metaverse players, metaverse leaders, when we talk privately, most of the time we got into this topic and everybody say like, oh, but we are building for the metaverse, for the like virtual headsets and for computers. But obviously the future that we see is to have AR glasses, and then with AR glasses kind of convenient for people. They can always turn off the glasses. They have real world as it is, right? It's not problematic. But then they turn on the glasses and they see, they walk to the street, they see the some art, right, flowing around, maybe a shark in the sky, right? They can see other people actually as avatars, right?
Yes.
That's also a good thing for the parties or something, and that people see you as avatar, you see other people as avatar. So then our part, what we are mostly developing, right, in MaisonDAO and xAiDRIP, is the projects that you have some fashion, right? You collect some digital fashion to show, and then you are actually using it in the real world because people see you as this avatar dressed in this digital fashion. So we are definitely working on something that will be getting more and more relevant into the future. It's not here now because obviously right now, if we only limit this to metaverse worlds, it's not that big of the audience, but it is getting bigger. And then with AR filters, right, with AR, you can have cool Snapchat campaigns, you can have cool Instagram campaigns. We actually had one with an influencer who has on TikTok 5 million views. She actually came up with the initiative. She printed on her t-shirt a QR code. She asked us for interesting digital fashion, and she went to the Berlin Fashion Week, and people who were scanning the QR code, they were actually having a filter with the digital fashion, and they could place it on her or themselves. Right?
Nice.
So they could see her, in real time through the phone with this digital item. It was like a big puffer jacket, very metaverse style from Hani from Svetlana Yakunina. She's very amazing designer, one of our core members of the DAO. And her brand designed this. And these are the kind of campaigns that are possible right now, right? So you can have some kind of experience, but in the future with AR glasses, when you actually turn on the glasses, you see 100 people, animated. That would be something very, very engaging.
Yeah, totally. I mean, when I was on Spatial, my avatar, like I had to like press to make it dance because, it can detect my movement and then translate that. So I felt like that was a bit of a limitation, but I mean, of course, it's of course high tech for it to be able to detect your movement and translate that. But at the same time, also like just with the fingers, right? You're just going in and out. And so I was falling all the time. It was hard to navigate sometimes. So I also think with the glasses, it will make more sense and it will feel more immersive and it will be even more user friendly. I don't think it's difficult to use. I think actually it's more user friendly than I assumed coming in.
VR glasses or on the phone? Because I think you mentioned
on the phone. Yeah, on the phone. Yeah.
Because I think with the VR glasses, with the VR headset, you can actually when you have the glasses, you also have the navigators in your hand. And I think right now what's possible is to navigate the hands. So it could reflect your hand gesture. So for dancing, at least, I see some people who has the headset.
I just need to like see the DJ player. So it would be difficult if I
Yes, it will be, of course. As a to do the DJing part, of course. It's
so but maybe in the future it will be possible to do both. But yeah, that's fascinating. So when I walked into spatial, of course, like you said, I needed to create an avatar. And then I could put in an image, like a selfie, and then they could like kind of generate an avatar that looks similar to me. I can edit a little bit and then change the clothes. When it comes to the fashion part, it didn't feel like I had a lot of options to express my artistic, views, or maybe I want to design my own fashion for my avatar, or I didn't see like a lot of options. So I picked something that I liked the most, but I really didn't see a variety of options. Have you experienced that? You're also specializing in fashion in the metaverse. So where do you see that today?
I think grinding on this topic is an interesting point because that was a big problem. It's only changed right now. As far as I know, I'm getting updates, newsletter from this company, and I know some people inside, the founder and others. We talked a few times from Ready Player Me, right? This is them that is used in spatial.
Yeah.
And the problem was that it's kind of difficult. I did for quite some time. It was a big problem because to integrate the items inside the system, you still need some manual work. It's not totally automated process that, I design the item sending this and it's happening. No, like it always has to be optimized, changed, more adapted for the avatars. So that's why the number of items in Ready Player Me overall, it wasn't super big because there was not the automation process. And because of this, they could only accept a limited number of brands or projects or designers who could put the item into the system, right? Because they had, I think they had a collaboration with Tommy, right? With Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah.
That was very cool that you could buy the items in the real world and you could also have the digital version for the avatar. So this was one of the collaborations, but they had others and they had to focus their attention on this overall. But right now, the last update, I think it was 2 weeks ago, the information was that they are opening this option for the games, I think for the games itself. So if you have a metaverse platform or you're building or you're integrating with the player me, you can actually add more items into their system inside, right? So people who are on your platform can actually choose bigger range of items that you create for the system. So I think that will change for sure, like Special for sure will benefit from this a lot, and there will be much more items. I think it could multiply by 10 times, 15 times if they open this to the creators. And I definitely want to do this as well. Yeah, like our projects and our new brand definitely will take part in this because that's our goal. Yeah, for people to be able to wear these items at least right now in the metaverse or through filters, right? And then being able to, how to say, and then being able to showcase their fashion, showcase their avatars and the styles to create this sort of ecosystem, yeah, where people are showing, that's very important part, they're showing their styles, the stylization, yeah, they looks, they're sharing their looks on social platforms as they share the looks from the real world. Yeah, that would be one of the goals of it. And I think this opening up the platform of Ready Player Me is very good. And also we are talking to 3 or 4 other companies that are building something not similar, but some different solutions that can also solve this issue of having more items in your digital wardrobe, right?
Yeah.
And then you can use for your avatars in different spaces.
Totally. Maybe I'm not like the average consumer out there. I'm not so big on brands. I want to wear this brand or that brand. Like I'm more of a creator. So when I was looking at Snapchat, for example, I saw that now you could like use AI to create different backgrounds for your avatar. And I was thinking, oh, AI can come in here. I would love that. Like if I could go into spatial and then I could use AI to generate the type of fashion I would like to wear and create that fashion. Do you see that AI could help for an average consumer or for designers themselves creating digital wearables?
That's a great question. Overall, I love it because this new project that I'm launching, xAiDRIP, is exactly X, yeah, like featuring here, like xAiDRIP. So the whole concept is to create pieces that are AI driven, right? So we use AI for in the inception stage, for example, for some inspirations. I run conversation with ChatGPT about the directions of the company, directions of the project. So definitely AI is a very huge part of what I'm doing right now, because I believe that it can enhance the process. It can't totally exchange the process, but what you suggested would be possible in the future, because for now the AI can't that much generate 3D models, because that's what you need to create. You can have a 2D style generated, and that's awesome. And we are currently having the contest with Fashion AI. It's like a collective of people doing AI generated fashion. And every week or every 2 weeks, they have like a new topic. All the people create the generations based on this topic, and then they're getting rewards. And actually, xAiDRIP and MaisonDAO, my DAO that I founded about digital fashion, we partner up with them. We propose the topic of ecofuturism, right? Like sustainable societies of the future and interplanetary green society, green civilization. So it's about connecting this sustainable element with technology, with style. And I already saw some amazing entries, right? Because it's open up to their community. We are also promoting this on our channels. So I also seen a lot of great entries AI generated, and it's beautiful. Yeah, I love generated stuff with AI. The writing prompts for this. It's also some kind of art, right? Like
it is absolutely
different schools. Yeah, different schools of thinking about it. But for me, writing a prompt, it is like a little bit of art. I've used the right words that you want to achieve.
absolutely.
But we believe in xAiDRIP. We believe in AI with human touch, right? So we really want artists to be involved in the process as well. Everybody can be an artist. That's always true. But
I
these
agree.
people yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're definitely on board with that. Anybody can be an artist. It's not something exclusive. But we want the artists that are working with us in digital fashion to be having a say, right? To be having an opportunity to enhance their collections, to enhance their careers with these designs. And that's why xAiDRIP came out to live. It's my like fresh idea, right? Like started 2 months ago. It's about creating a subscription and the magazine where people can actually collect the magazine and get the this AI generated or AI driven pieces. Yeah, digital 3D models as well, because obviously our designers can transform the AI generation. They can transform it to the real world, not real world, but to the 3D model and create the fashion for Ready Player Me or for some other platform. That's possible. Or for a filter for Instagram or Snapchat, right? So we do this part. It's still manual, but I believe yes, in the future it will be possible to just automate this, like to go into the software. Can be Snapchat, can be Instagram, can be some other platform that will be maybe only for this, and you could say, I want to look like this and this, right? And then your avatar changes. Maybe you want to change your hair for this, right? Instead of painting the color in the real world, maybe you will have a green hair, right? This you will change the tone of your skin. You will say, I want this and this clothes and this style and this colors, and I want to have a background of this. And then all of this will just happen.
Amazing.
With your words, right?
You that's
describe it with audio, right?
Yes.
And that's what I think it's definitely a possibility, not that far away. Yeah, we have elements at least for many of these things right now, but they have to be combined together.
Yeah, I'm so jealous you're working on these projects, to be honest, because they sound so fascinating. And it's like you're really working on the edge of stuff. And working on the edge, it becomes like this legal issue sometimes. Like, okay, if AI is helping us generate these, let's say, wearables or whatever is helping us, we're writing a prompt and then we're getting results that we're using. And who owns these results? Who owns it? And can we sell it? So these questions come to mind.
Of course. I think for the Mid-Journey, I was checking it not that long ago. For Mid-Journey, I'm paying for the subscription. I think with the paid subscription, you're actually getting full commercial rights. It seems like it from the information there. So you can actually use this in your commercial work. You don't have to tag Mid-Journey, right? You don't have to put like a Mid-Journey logo somewhere, but obviously it's appreciated by the founders, right? And
of course, it's more marketing for them. Of course.
Yes, it's more marketing for them. So obviously they would like if you do this, but it's not obligatory. And I think you can clearly use it. I think with DALI from OpenAI, it's more hurdle. I think you can pay for a more expensive subscription and get full commercial rights, but in the free one you don't get. And I like to use Midjourney, obviously, but sometimes I like to use DALI as well. It's also generated some pretty cool things for me. I was trying to generate like a very metaverse looking, cloudy sneaker, right? Like a streetwear sneaker. I generated altogether with different variations, more than 50 different ones, right? And then from this, I had like 2 or 3 that I think they will go into production, that I really feel they look like the stuff I imagine in my head, right? It's difficult, but these ones, they look like it. So I can't wait to actually build them and release them. And yeah, I think it will be awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But you said yourself, yeah, that it's fascinating, this working on the edge of things. That's basically what I like to do, right? Always try to find these new things, because overall my interest is new technologies, right? Like that's what I try to write, that I'm interested in new technology. So obviously there's always some new technology that you can combine to your stack. It doesn't mean that you, for example, me, that now I do only AI, but I don't do metaverse or I don't do blockchain. No, it's the opposite, right? Like I believe that AI can help with the metaverse and with the blockchain and connecting it to fashion. So why not use it, right? And be able to be versed in this type of technologies to know how it works. It's pretty relevant. Yeah, a lot of people are scared. We can also talk about this part. A lot of people are scared about that AI took their jobs. Because as for now, yeah, like ChatGPT, for example, I saw that it can pass like a medical exam, like a lawyer exam. Yeah, it has enough knowledge to pass it with a okay, great. Yeah, so better than many humans, yeah, who take this because they fail. So somehow we got to that point that with the knowledge and with the experience that the AI is getting, it could be more, it could be better than humans in any way. So people are scared, and that's why I think it's very important to know what's going on, not only do the doomsaying, right, and say, okay, it'll take our jobs, it's a bad thing, we should ban it, because yeah, there are voices to do that, but it should be more concentrated around, okay, like how we can use it to enhance our careers, right, how we can integrate it into our processes to make our work more efficient. That, I think, are the more important conversation than just saying, we have to ban it, because it won't be banned. There will be always like a version of it that people are using. The technology works like this. You can hack, you can pirate, you can make your own version, train on the data. Some people did it as well already. They just use a similar codes and they were able to recreate this kind of experiences, because some of these things are open. Yeah, like out of the open, you can't close them back, right? Like basically
you can't put the lid back on. It's like
yeah, the genie is out of the bottle. You can't back. And now it will be solving all the wishes. Good allegory. Yeah, people are asking things, people are getting things, and from AI, and it's getting more and more intense with time. It's not getting less intense.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, and I like that you're an optimist. I try to always like cover both sides. Coming from a scientific background, we always look at the plus and the minus to get the full perspective. I definitely see AI helping. It's helping my work. I also said this in other episodes, how much I use it for the podcast editing, for creating content for LinkedIn, for creating the cheetah art that I'm creating right now. That I also talked to. You will get your cheetah NFT soon.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
So I love it.
Cool project, like this with the cheetahs. I really liked it when you told me the first time about it.
Yeah, I'm happy you like it. So I love AI. It's helping me already. It's making my life easier. And I can't wait for AI music production tools. I will be like all over it. So I'm really excited for the developments. But as in with every innovation can go into like this Black Mirror episode, and it can go into like this really rosy, everything is beautiful kind of episode. And usually like innovation lands somewhere in between, depending on the early adopters, right? The people that come in early, they decide in which direction this innovation will go, and also the regulations to a certain extent, like how much the regulation understand the reality of this innovation, because sometimes regulations feels like they're living in a different century compared to where we are today with technology, and the regulations are not really careful enough, or maybe people who are making it don't understand it enough to be able to regulate it in a safe way. So I do see AI having also some bias, like coded bias for sure. That's something I have experienced. I see also AI having a culture, being more capitalistic. Like ChatGPT is American. And then you have all of these kind of things that you need to pay attention to, because what do we want from the world? We want innovation to help us be more inclusive. We want innovation to help us reach a more equal society. The good part, it can, and also it can make things worse. And that's only dependent on humans, right? It's a tool. We use the tool. How we use the tool will define how the tool will shape our reality. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely positive, but I also want to bring it into attention that there's a lot of work to be done from us humans who are coming into this space early on to make sure that we're working with the right people that have the good intentions. That's also why I started this podcast, right? Because I want to highlight people like you who are coming in with good intentions and like a good heart, and they really want to build something in this space. And at the same time, we need to work with regulations and education. So we have a lot of challenges there, but I hope we can do it.
Yeah, I love the education. That's what I'm trying to do as well. I'm speaking on one university on their classes and during their conferences, for example, because the students they need this knowledge, and also their questions also revolve many times about regulations, about dark side, about the potential issues. I'm always happy to talk about these topics, and I think that education is very important for us to go forward. We have to work on this part very much. Then the regulation, I would compare this to blockchain regulation, right? Definitely, it's bad. Yeah, I mean,
it's bad.
there are not many.
Well, no sugarcoat. It's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Short is just bad.
Yeah.
I know there are some countries, there are some frameworks that they want to develop something better. I think in European Union itself, there's like a fight between people who wants to regulate more to squeeze it, to sort of like make it smaller and not relevant. Because if you regulate to the level that you can't use most of the great features of it, then it will not benefit anyone, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they are scared a little bit, and I understand partially this, that it can be used in the wrong ways, but at the same time, people are already using various things for bad things. And I'm sure with AI, it will be also the case. Yeah, there will be people using it for develop. Yeah, like we do, like developing of ideas, creating content, being more effective in our works, right? And that's cool. And then definitely you can have these people to that will use it to influence public opinion, right? Because if you can generate thousands of conversations without actually writing them, right, and you are affecting a public sphere this way, it can change opinions. It can change Facebook comments or something like. Having this kind of AI bots that are actually understanding the conversation, because we check this with ChatGPT, right? Like it actually understands more or less the conversation.
Yes.
And the people who are on the other side can have problem to distinct what is AI, what is real. So if they think they're talking to someone, they have I was reading about the article about this today, and I didn't think about this earlier, so I will put this topic here. When I was thinking about this talking to bots, I was like, okay, yeah, like the bot can convince you to something, right? Like, they can tell the fact that it's not true, but obviously they will write it in a convincing way, so we will believe it. But I missed this point, and in this article they highlighted it, that thanks to how good they are right now, they could actually build an emotional connection to someone.
Exactly.
I forgot about this part, you know. I was not thinking about this part, like, oh, emotional connection with the bot, like, you know, it's a bot, you will not get them emotional connection. But if you don't know it's a bot, and you're getting messages like very friendly, right, like family style message, it could be used for good. For example, it will be definitely part of our campaign for luxury digital fashion brand, right? For this club of the people who are actually like putting a lot into the community, and they will be getting some sort of AI augmented information. Yeah, you know, very friendly, but they will know it's, you know, they will know it's AI,
they will know
right?
it's AI.
So obviously they will know it's AI. But so I was thinking how this is for good. But then if you use it in this like political sphere, and you know, the AI will actually be creating fake personas that you're getting in love with, right? And then somebody is telling you to do this on that, I don't know, go to this manifestation, right? To go to this protest, right? And
that's definitely
it could be
scary.
dangerous. It could be dangerous. Like, let's think about from this point, right?
Yeah, totally. Yesterday I was watching Yuval Harari, you know, the historian. He wrote the books, you know, Homo sapiens, and And like he's been very vocal about how scared he is from AI, like really early on, like before ChatGPT, before all this. And then now he's coming back and he's like, see, I told you guys, like this is gonna happen. He talked about exactly the same thing. He said like for centuries, humans were the only ones that could understand language and communicate through language. And now we have this AI thing that is inorganic that understands language. And that's like the first thing, you know? And the second thing, it can build relationships, deep connections with people. And that is scary because he says he's talking about the currency today is attention. People are trying to grab your attention everywhere. But the currency for the new generations will be intimacy. Who's going to create the deepest relationship with you and convince you to buy this product, to vote for this? So the new currency is deep relationships and intimacy with AI, which is just like, okay, when you put it like that.
Well, then we are going to the Black Mirror.
When you put it like that, I'm like, okay, I wasn't that scared, but now I'm a little bit scared.
Yeah.
And I'm also happy I don't belong to the new generation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's good. This part is scary, right? Because the young people, this new generations, they could actually really get immersed in a bad way. There was like a Netflix series, it was Japanese, I think, or South Korean, about the woman. She was the founder of the company, like a Tinder type of app, but she built artificial intelligence that was recommending other people, right? So it was actually linking people to each other based on their things in the internet or everything, but it was like using a specific AI she built for it. And somehow in the plot of the movie, this AI is connecting a serial killer, right, to the people, and then they're being killed.
Oh my
So
God.
definitely, it's like a Black Mirror scenario. And
I mean,
it was
that's
convincing in recommendations. The AI was also like convincing in recommendation because it was an AI, right? So it
wow.
would
Yes. Yes.
to go on
It's
dates and to connect to people. So it is kind of scary, but in the same time, I don't believe that, as I mentioned, we can't stop this at this
no,
point,
no,
right? Really,
no.
like go back. There could be some regulations about using this in this way, so people knows that if they do this in the wrong way, there are some punishments sort of for it. Yeah, I will be honest, I'm more like laissez-faire kind of person, but in this case, for the sake of this innovation, probably there will be some safeguard needed. Like it's not possible to have zero safeguards, right? So I would just agree that
No.
there will be some safeguards that
Mhm.
needed to be implemented
Yeah.
for the schools.
Absolutely. And when it comes to the metaverse, let's say, what are the limitations there? I can imagine one of the limitation maybe creating fake identities. So now I have my avatar. I'm like a DJ cheetah in the metaverse. Like, what stops someone from making the same identity or even faking different identity?
Exactly the question that I was getting on this university classes with the students because they work in marketing and stuff. So they also understand that that's basically one of the problems. My answer is twofold. From one side, I I really believe in a concept of digital identity itself, right? So I really believe that thanks to all of these tools that we have, we can build a better future where people are not limited to the real world looks. For example, someone is not satisfied with their look. It could be someone different in the digital world. Maybe they will have three digital identities, and one for gaming with friends, one for attending events, and one for, I don't know, education, right? So I really believe in this part that this part could really enhance life of the people, right? So you can have your DJ persona created, totally. Then you can have fashion events, fashion shows, persona, then one for gaming. And they could all be stored in your wallets, right? Like your blockchain wallets. And that could be one of the ways to have this authentication. And this was the person from this time, have this and this, so it's authenticated. I think the big problem is about the items itself. Because on the Twitter, for example, you have now the verification, right? So you can have this tick verified. It's you pay, you verify your number, you're verified. In blockchain, it could be much more enhanced. You could still have anonymous, right? Like anonymous accounts that are internally authenticated. It could be like a difficult to understand concept, but you can have it both ways, right? From one side, it's anonymous. I mean, it is what it is outside, but then the system itself can verify if this person is the person, right? But other people, they just see the verified effect. They don't see a
like
detail.
zero knowledge proofs, yeah.
Exactly. Okay. For people who knows more, that would be 0K proofs. And that could be one of the ways to enhance the experience. It couldn't block it 100%. And the same with items, right? Like we work with independent designers, when independent design create the item, and some other person recreate this item, right? Like putting a similar pattern to it, right? A similar shape to it. With this, you can't do that much. You can verify that the person in this metaverse, they have this object in the wallet, for example, that is the authentic verified NFT from the brand. That's the only thing that could be used for that. And I know that some of the metaverses, they want to integrate this kind of solutions where you can actually see this, right? But you look at the person, yeah, you see their items and you can see, okay, this is the verified from this artist or from this brand. And it's not something that can be easily, I mean, you can spoof it, right? So you can create another collection, create this brand, but people will be able to see, okay, this is not the verified brand, this is not the verified artist.
It's like Twitter, for example, or Instagram. You have verified accounts.
You will see a tick that, okay, this item is the item. So I think this is one of the ways. We were also laughing with some friends. I will be meeting them this week. We're laughing at like how to fight with counterfeits. I mean, you discover on this platform, on the Metaverse platform that exists, you discover that something is counterfeit. You either block it from show, right? Or one of the person was saying, or you actually put like a big red stamp on this person that it's counterfeit. And I was like, no, like I'm definitely against this kind of very intrusive ways, right? Like mark some people, right? Like they are wearing counterfeit items. I don't think that's that's the solution, like a red letter kind of system, right? But we're laughing about it, like how to do it, how to actually then establish. When you look at the 12 people, how you would establish, you would have to check every person, click on them maybe and see, okay, these are the items, these are the verified items, they are not the items. I don't know. It's a complicated one. Like we definitely don't have one good answer for it, but
I understand. I'm looking now at the time and I see we're coming to an end. So just the final few questions for you here. One question I usually end with is, what are you bullish on and what are you phobic about when it comes to projects? And feel free to include your own projects or any other projects in this space. So what's something you're excited about? What's something you're worried about, basically?
Like obviously, as I mentioned, I'm very bullish on digital fashion itself, right? There are very cool projects out there who are doing a good job. Like a legacy project Fabricant, right? The artifact that was bought by Nike. These are the big players in the industry, and I definitely think that it could grow even more. Obviously, our MaisonDAO, the digital fashion brand and decentralized brand that we are building. Definitely there will be a lot of good things happening this year about it. We have some collaboration with a very, very big football club that will be realized later this year when they want to have this, digital fashion for the avatar platform for their fans. But it's a very cool thing. And there will be more things to come as well. And this new project that I'm building, xAiDRIP, I believe this connection between AI and metaverse fashion and digital fashion, it's something that, as you already mentioned as well, that's something that for the final user and for the artist could be like opening totally new ways how they treat their identity and how can get the personalized items. So I think that's very cool. And then regarding the phobic element, I think because of regulations, I think there are some problems for DeFi projects, right? I just attended on Saturday 1inch. 1inch with the unicorn logo. It's a DeFi project. I attended like amazing event that they had in Palace here in Lisbon. It was like a Palacio de Shadow. It's very very beautiful palace. Like looks old. It has like the beautiful paintings all around, and it was like a very big party. So it doesn't seem a problem right now, and I really love the people there and the company as well as. But I think overall for the industry, because of the regulations, you can have some problems, right? I heard that they want to regulators in Europe. They want to put some harsh regulations on staking itself, and that's a big part of the blockchain and DeFi ecosystem.
Yeah, that's true.
So if staking is blocked, there have to be new ways for liquidity, and I'm a little bit scared about this, right? Like how it will work after all. And there are some concepts to ban proof of work on the scale. That could also be a problem for many blockchain projects that didn't make a change, because they will be just banned, right? So there are some things that are bad. In our case, just to finalize this, in our case, like, we can always migrate to the blockchains, right, that are under the regulations, because our case is mostly about authenticity of the 3D objects, right? It's not something really complicated from the regulatory perspective. Yeah, we are doing digital items, digital art. We want people to have digital certificate that they own the item. And I don't think this part will be very heavily regulated. It should be kind of free, and I would really, and I'm trying always to make this happen when I talk to people from the governments, because I'm going to some events when we talk to people from the governments. I always tell them that if they want their industries, right, to grow and to have innovation, they shouldn't heavily regulate this case of authentication and verification, because it is as it is, that like this innovation is solving these issues, but if you overregulate it, then it will lose all the basic features, right, that they have.
It will lose its benefit, like the whole point is
it will lose the benefits, and then there's no point. So I think this is the important point that I'm trying to make always.
Very good points. So now if you can leave some information about where people can find you.
Sure. So I think MaisonDAO, Maison from French is house, right? So it's house DAO, like a fashion house DAO. MaisonDAO World is one of the websites that we have with some basic information. We are an experts community, so we mostly live and organize events and all of our stuff on LinkedIn. So there's like a MaisonDAO profile on LinkedIn. I'm Simon Mikolajczyk. The information will be in the description. So if you find me on LinkedIn, I have my avatar 3D scan as my profile. Maybe I will change by this time, but as for now, that's what it is. And then xAiDRIP has also like a showcase page on LinkedIn. It's this new project, and I think I would love for people to get to know it. There will be always like a sort of like a free access to the magazine we are building. So there will be a place where people can read about AI innovations for art and fashion, and about new artists and people coming into the industry, some behind the scenes. So if people want to get more knowledge, this magazine will serve this issue. And then there will be a subscription for people who want to have the items themselves.
Awesome. That's great. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming, and welcome to the Cheetah family. I will also show you your cheetah art very soon. I always end with, we want to move from a space full of cheaters to a space full of cheetahs. So our slogan is be a cheetah and not a cheater. So welcome. And thank you so much.
Great to be here. It was a great discussion. I really enjoyed it, and I hope we can talk more in the future. And actually, I also wanted to say that I will definitely invite you as a DJ to our next event, I think, because if you already did this, I think it will be super cool to actually have you on some of our after parties.
Absolutely. I'm down. Yeah, just hit me up. I'll be there.
Thank you very much.
So cool. All right. Thank you, Simon. And thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode.